Well, hey, neighbor, it's me, Angie. Come on in. This is our live neighborhood chat. Yeah, I didn't put up a. I thank y'all for coming and visiting me today. I'm glad y'all were here. And I'm going to have to tell you all that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. And I will have my neighborhood. Okay, now then, I think I got it. I think y'all can hear me if y'all come in. I don't know what. There we go. I'm having bad weather. Uh, I got a thunderstorm here. It's thundering and lightning. Hey Pam, I know I had to reboot it. It was crazy. Welcome in. I hope everybody else finds me. I had 9 people in here and then my live stream went crazy. Yeah, it's the storm now. I got thunderstorms here. So what are y'all doing? I wanted to tell y'all about the garden. So it's rained twice since we got it planted. But we actually planted broccoli, pole beans, and butter beans. James did today, which is very unusual because we don't usually plant those 3 things. So we're trying those out. And it's rained on the garden twice. I think I made it, guys, and it's good now. So what have y'all been? Nana, you made it home? I hope you're doing good, Pam and Pamela. Everything here is going well. It's just getting a lot of rain. It's supposed to rain for the next 3 days. I don't know what that's about, which I can never get out if it rains. I have to stay inside. I'll be glad when we get my sidewalk built. Oh, you've been getting ready for the family? When's your family coming, Anna? Aren't you having a wedding or something? I don't know if y'all can hear that thunder or not. It's thundering really loud. So we think we got Taylor's wedding May the 10th. Weddings are good in May. My grandmother's was May the 4th. She and my grandfather married on May the 4th. James and we're married May the 16th. Taylor married on May the 20th. My sister married on May the 14th. So May weddings are good. That must be a Saturday. Is that a Saturday? Must be. Because the next weekend is the 17th is my birthday. Let me see. That must be, yeah, that must be a Saturday. That's the day before Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I have Mother's Day in May, my anniversary's in May, and my birthday's in May. I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't thinking. But I bet. Or do you like to be in up north better than you like the south, or it doesn't matter, Nana? 2 weeks notice is enough time, Angie. 2 week notice for what, Claudette? For what? Yeah, Mother's Day is the 11th. Yeah. Yes, and her birthday, granddaughter's, is May 1st. Oh, gotcha. I know. I think because of the way you live in Florida when it's cold in the north, and then you go back up north and it's still warm weather, I think that probably is the reason you. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. But anyway, you remember last time I was talking to y'all about Taylor's insurance saying it wasn't medically necessary for her to have um her brain surgery. Well, I got on the three-way call with the insurance, and a nurse called. And for some reason, doctors made the decision through the insurance that they wasn't going to pay for her surgery because they didn't see it was medically necessary. So the nurse got on the phone, and I told her, I said, this is almost comical. You're telling me that your doctors have never seen my daughter. She has a VP shunt. She's had it since birth. And you're telling me that she didn't need it replaced when it was shutting down? I mean, come on now. This is almost comical. This is really funny. You know, that's what I was telling the nurse. And I told her, I said, you know that I know that you know you're playing me and my daughter. Y'all just trying to stall from having to pay the bill. And you're putting the ball in her court to have to do all the legwork to get this bill paid. Well, she didn't know what to say then. But it's just crazy how they don't want to, they automatically just deny you. Yeah, it's not med. I said, I could see if it was a breast reduction or some kind of, tummy tuck or something like that. I could see you denying it, but we're talking about brain surgery where she could have had a stroke. I mean, she could have died of a seizure, but you're telling us it's not medically necessary. It's just comical, really. No, Nana, it's awful. But then she tells me, get this. She says, "Well, we didn't deny the whole surgery. We denied when she got uh uh when they put her in the hospital. They put her in as inpatient instead of observation. They didn't put her in that they were observing her. They put her in as inpatient to do surgery." I said, "So what you're saying is it's all about a code. You want them to change the code on the billing, which they hadn't even billed yet because it was just the day after she went in the hospital that they sent this notice saying that her surgery was denied. So how did they know how they were billing it? You know?" And I said, "So what we need to do is call the hospital, tell them to code it under observation so you'll pay for that, right?" "Oh, I'm not telling you to do that. We can't call the hospital and tell them that." I said, "You may not can call the hospital and tell them that, but I'm gonna tell them if they want to get paid that they'll code it like that, which is it's all about the code, whatever code you use when you build something." Hey, Christina, how are you? Are you still getting rain, Christina? We are getting rain, rain, rain here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I mean, I told her, she said, well, if she wants to continue for you to talk for her, she's going to have to fill out a form. I said, I normally do not talk for her when it comes to her business. I said, but I've dealt with her in this shunt since she was born. And I've dealt with insurances with her shunt since she was born. I said, if it wasn't for that, I would not be dealing with this. She handles her own uh business. I said, the only reason I'm talking to you now is because of it being her shunt. Oh, okay. Because if you're going to speak to her after we get through with this phone call, she's gonna have to fill a form out because of HIPAA. I said, I understand that. I understand. But yeah, she's doing good. She's got to go back to the doctor May the 2nd, but she went to the eye doctor. I didn't know this, but when she was in the hospital, they found blood behind one of her eyes. So they made her an appointment with the eye doctor. And when she went today, there was no blood, but she still had a little spot, which I'm hoping it's not sarcoidosis. Lord, I am hoping it's not sarcoidosis. But I didn't say that to her. But I'm thinking the pressure that was on her brain when she went in to have surgery was causing the blood, is what I'm thinking. But they are criminals, Nana. We've been screwed over when I owned our company real bad. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was the pressure of the fluid buildup on her brain before they put the shunt back in. But she had an appointment at 8:30 this morning with the eye doctor. She told me a couple of days ago. I didn't know that they had found her eyes. And but she said there was some other spot on her eye that they didn't know what it was. And see, you can have sarcoidosis anywhere in your body, your eyes, your brain, your skin, any organ in your body, you can have sarcoidosis. And I'm just hoping that is not what it is. Which, if it lays dormant in her body, it's no problem. But because I think mine lay dormant in my body for years. It just stayed there. And then when I broke my ankle, I think the stress of me breaking my ankle caused my sarcoidosis to start up and raise its ugly head, is what I think. I hope not. We had the children here Friday and Saturday. Woo, this girl was tired. Can I tell you, I was tired. We cooked, which Matt helped. Matt loves to cook. We cooked James's corn casserole, broccoli and cheese, potato salad, dressing, ham, roast, deviled eggs, rolls, pecan pie. You know that melody stuff you do, cucumber, onion, tomatoes, and you put Italian dressing. We had that. We had salad. I mean, we had this big, huge meal. Haley's parents came. My daughter-in-law's mother and dad came, and her sister. My oldest sister came with her two kids. And it was just, oh man. By the time everybody left Saturday, because everybody left Saturday, because Matt and Haley wanted to go home and have Easter morning with Berkeley and Libby at home, to get their Easter baskets and everything. And I was one tired cookie. I'm gonna tell you that. Needless to say, we have eaten leftovers for the last few days, which everybody took a plate home. Matt, he took a plate. Those little cover plates you get. I have those on hand because I know every time I cook for them, they're going to want to take something home. So they made them a plate and took it home, and we still had leftovers. And we're going to have Reubens tonight. Have y'all ever had a Reuben? You know, some people don't like Reubens because they don't like sauerkraut. Me, I love sauerkraut. Some people don't like it. But I guess that's why I like Reubens. But we're having Reubens tonight for supper. So what do y'all got going on? How's the weather? What's going on with y'all? Nana's got a wedding. I don't know when Nana's going to come back on. Probably in mid-May. You going to come back on and do auctions, Nana? Or are you going to do auctions again? Christina was live. I think it was yesterday, and I went on there and watched her with her live. She had walked 6 miles, I think. I think she said she had walked 6 miles. That's one of my favorite sandwiches. Yeah, we're gonna have that for supper tonight. I think you and I, Nana, mostly like the same thing. We were brought up on the same foods, probably. Oh, you're having nice weather there. Is it still cold, real cold there, Claudette? Are y'all about to get spring? That's one thing I can say about my children. I never had a picky eater. Matt nor Taylor were picky. Neither one of those children were picky. I don't think I have a grandchild that is picky. You can put it on their plate and they eat most everything you put on their plate. Now I have seen some people and children that were so picky. I mean, they would not eat hardly anything. I have a cousin, this is a true story. I have a cousin that has never ate steak in his entire life. He will only eat chicken as protein. He don't eat any other protein but chicken. He eats potato chips. He's an adult. Um, what else? He'll eat biscuits and gravy. You could probably count on both hands stuff that he'll eat. Other than that, he don't eat anything else. That's how picky he is. Um, I told his wife, his wife's name's Tina. I said, girl, I love him as my cousin. I absolutely adore him. But I would not be married to him. If we wasn't related, he and I would not be friends. And I sure wouldn't be married to him because he's so picky. I said, girl, I couldn't do it. It's a proven fact there's somebody for everybody because she's the only one that can put up with him. I mean, as a cousin, I love him to death. But, oh my goodness, I don't see how she's married to him. After the wedding, my sister will be staying with me about 5 days. So I won't be doing auctions until after everyone is gone. Oh, nice. Where's your sister from, Nana? Is she from your state or what state is she from? Yes, we're skipping spring and going right into summer. Your 3 children weren't picky? That's true. My oldest sister is very picky too. She's a picky eater. Hello, Bradalza. Dalza? Bradalza. Lord, I don't want to butcher that. Welcome in. Oh, that would be nice having all your boys and grandkids. Oh, yes. I don't know if it makes Nana tired like it makes me, Matt and Haley and the kids came Friday, and they neither one worked. Well, Matt saw maybe 2 patients on Friday, but he gets up really early, so he was finished by 10 o'clock. And they got here about 1:30 or 2 o'clock Friday, and of course Taylor was off work because she's had surgery. Brent was off work because he was with Taylor. So we all were here Friday and Saturday, the entire family, which I absolutely loved. But I'm telling you, it wore me out. James said, I didn't think you were ever going to quit snoring. He said, I didn't want to wake you up because you were sleeping so good. He didn't want to wake me up to tell me to quit snoring because once you wake me up, I'm up. Michigan. Michigan. Oh, okay. The rain's coming down out there now. I'm like you, Angie. My family is everything, and boy, do they wear me out. They do. We played trivia. We of course big supper. I said I'm not cooking a big supper. So we had sausage dogs that Friday that they came. We just fixed some deer sausage and sauteed some onions and peppers and had sausage dogs. I said, I'm not cooking a big meal for Friday and then Saturday. That is not happening. Oh, no, Mama, no, we're not cooking a big meal for both times. I'm like, I know. And hey, Lisa, I want to tell y'all something. Lisa, I went to her auction the other night. She said, I had a dream about It's Me, Angie. Lisa had a dream about me. And I thought, oh my gosh, I hope it wasn't a nightmare. And I said, oh my gosh, Lisa, I hope it wasn't a nightmare. She's like, no, I'll tell you when it's my turn. You know, when her turn comes around and she's selling. So I'm anxiously waiting her turn to see, oh my gosh, what did she dream? And it got around to her turn, and she said, I dreamed that Angie was my neighbor. And then we would meet up every day and have a drink or and spend time together and all that stuff, which warmed my heart. It made me feel so good. So I was Lisa's neighbor. And I said, I would love for Lisa to be my neighbor. But she had a dream that I was actually her neighbor, which I thought was funny. It was real funny. Lisa's a sweetheart. And dresses the cutest. Man, she wears these little cowboy hats and she's got that little high pitched voice. What game? What game? Anyone play the game called Blank Slate ever? It's awesome. I've never heard of that. Where did you hear about that, Claudette? Um, it's amazing. I was telling James about Lisa having this dream. And I said, it's amazing how you can never have met someone and then dream about them. And I don't know if y'all have ever done this, but I have actually had dreams of people that I've never even met that are in my dreams. Have y'all ever had that happen? Like people that you didn't even know are in your dreams and you didn't recognize them. I mean, I've actually had that happen, which I wish I understood dreams more than I do because, which I know it's our subconscious trying to get rid of stuff when we dream, which we all dream every night. We may not remember it, but we all dream, every one of us. And I dream in black and white sometimes and in color. Some people don't even pay attention whether they dream in color or black and white. But I dream in both. Oh, it's a game the whole family can play. It's easy and fun. And I'm going to look that up. Our family, when we're all together, we love to play trivia. Uh, hold on a minute. Charades. Um, the one where you draw on the board and try to get them to figure out what it is that you're drawing. Yeah, we're just a family that loves to play games. We always have. We're all so competitive. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'm not as competitive. Just say, my daughter-in-law, oh my goodness. She's over the top competitive. My son is competitive. James is crazy competitive. I mean, like, off the scale. Taylor's competitive. Brent, my son-in-law, he's like, it doesn't matter. And I'm pretty much like that unless you tick me off. And if you tick me off during a game, like if you try to cheat or if you try to do something underhanded, then it's on. Then I get to where I'm very competitive. I'm like, no, you're not going to act like that. That's when I come alive, is when you do that. Never seen them in my life. Yes, I've heard of dreams of people. Yes, I've had dreams of people I don't know. Now, isn't that weird? I don't dream much. Maybe if I slept a bit, I may be able to dream. Always color. Well, I think you have to get in REM sleep in order to dream. And that's the sleep where you're actually sleeping. I don't think you go into full sleep, Claudette, like the deeper sleep. You have to be in REM sleep, where your eyes go like a tennis match. Your eyes go back and forth, REM sleep. I think you have to be in REM sleep to dream. I'm not really sure, but I think. Lisa said, I laugh and cry in my dreams. Oh, I know what catchphrase is. And taboo, I like that. We have that game. Look, the other night I dreamed about someone that's passed away that I was really, really close to, that I hadn't thought about in years. Okay. And I dreamed about them. And in my dream, I was hugging them. Like, I was so glad to see them. And I was literally just hugging them. And it felt just like I was hugging them. Like, I wasn't dreaming, but it was really happening. And when I woke up, I thought, oh, I didn't want to wake up. Once I realized it was a dream, I wanted to go back into that dream. And I have actually woken up out of a dream, went picked up where I left off in that dream. I have actually done that. I don't know if y'all have ever done that. Like, start a dream, wake up, go back to sleep, go into the same dream. I've actually done that before. Me too, Lisa. Once crying so hard in a dream and woke up and was actually crying so hard. I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever done that. Hey, GJ Threeple. I don't think I've actually woke up crying from a dream. I've woken up feeling so happy because I saw this person that I hadn't seen in years because they passed away. And it literally felt like I was there. Like I was really with this person. It was so real. There are some simple lifestyle changes, a checklist that are associated with improvement of symptoms and recovery from sarcoidosis. Yeah, they say you go in remission within the first 5 years. They should be able to get it in remission. I think I think I am in remission, but I think because I have the tumors in my spine is the reason I stay in pain so much. I think if I wasn't in remission, then my other leg would not be working right now because the tumors are on my spine. I feel like if I wasn't in remission, that the tumors would have took over my spine by now, and I wouldn't be able to move my other leg. It's my mind thought. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just in my mind what I'm thinking. We are hooked on playing Whampoo. It's fun, kind of like aggravation. Oh, I love aggravation. My grandmother and I used to, and my cousin, three or four of us used to love to play aggravation. Now, if you want to meet somebody that was competitive, my grandmother would absolutely lose it if she didn't win. We played rummy. She loved to play cards. We played dominoes. We played aggravation. But honey, if she didn't win, woo, she would go as far as not even speaking to you after the game was over with. And you would be like, Mamo, it's just a game. It's just a game. But she would not speak to you for hours if she didn't win. Stop smoking. I don't smoke. Avoid exposure to triggers, dust, chemicals, fumes, smoke, gases. Stay hydrated, exercise regularly, and eat a nutritious diet. Yes. Everybody speaking. That would be a way that person's connecting with you, Angie. I believe that. See, I a lot of people don't believe in the spiritual realm. You know, they do, but they don't to the extent that I believe in it. You know, I believe in the spiritual realm like a lot. Like your loved ones. Like when I see a red cardinal, to me that's someone in the spirit realm trying to connect with me. You know, when certain things happen in my house, I feel like that's somebody that's passed over trying to connect with me. If I have a certain dream, uh, I don't know. I just believe in all that. Part two of your dream. Yeah, I have actually picked up and went back to the dream. Not the dream that I had the other night when I was hugging the person that had passed on, but I kept saying to the person, I am hugging you. I am hugging you. I don't care what you say. I am hugging you and I'm going to keep hugging you. That's what I kept telling this person. And this person just kept smiling. And all I wanted to do, I didn't want to talk. I just wanted to hug this person. Is all I wanted to do, which is very unusual for me because I usually want to just, talk, talk, talk. But the whole time I was saying, no, I just want to hug you. I just want to hug you. I'm just hugging you. Quit talking. That's kind of like what I was saying. Christina said, I've done that several times. Oh, I'll be looking into that game, Wampoo, now. Would the tumors ever just. Well, the way it works is they can shrink them, but the scar will always be there. It leaves a scar. So if the scar is always there, that means the nerve's never gonna regenerate itself. It's never gonna be viable again because the scar is gonna keep it from doing that. Um, what it is, let me see if I can show y'all this. Like, you see the tip of this straw? like the very tip. That's how big the tumors are up and down my spine. They're about this size. But see, nothing's supposed to be there. And you would think, how can something that small cause this much damage? Well, first of all, it's not supposed to be there. Second of all, it's pressing against the nerves in my back. They're not like big, huge tumors like this. They're like really pinned, like about that small, about this right here. And they're just pressing up against my spine, causing pain and damage. My mama and 4 sisters play some rummy and poker with real money. It's fun. Oh, I love rummy. I love poker. I love blackjack. I love most card games. Let's just say that. Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker. Yeah. I think if I would have been able to know my dad growing up without just meeting him in my 30s, I would have probably been a totally different person than I am now, because he would have let me get away with a lot more than my mom let me get away with, because my dad loves to gamble. He's a gambler. And I would have been his only daughter, which he would have been real protective over me as a teenager. But he would have spoiled me rotten, for one thing. And he would have let me get away with anything, which it was probably good. He wasn't in my life to begin with. I would have probably got my wish of being arrested. I would have probably been arrested a couple of times. And my dad, too, he would have probably been arrested. I've seen too much with my own eyes, I do believe. I totally believe in the spiritual realm. Yes. And Nana, every time you put up one of those videos of those orbs that's in your house, and people go, oh, that's nothing. That's nothing. To me, that is something. I look at it like it's something spiritual. It's all in the perception of how you see things. Hey, Lori, my friend, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. A lot of people don't want to talk about the spiritual realm of things, which I love that subject. I love to talk about it. I love to learn about it. I'm open to a lot of it. I listen to anybody that tells a story that happened to them. Like you hear about these people that pass away and they say and then they come back. I'm not going to say they didn't. Some of the stories I have heard, to me, there's no way they could have made this stuff up. I read the book about the neurosurgeon that had a near-death experience, where he passed away and then he came back. And before he passed away, he did not believe since he was a neurosurgeon, he believed that when we die, we just died. It was nothing more than that, because he lived from the medical view of how the body works. Well, he got meningitis in his brain and he died. And he come back, which was rare. You usually don't come back from meningitis of the brain. And his book is phenomenal. And I'm thinking, there's no way this man could have made this stuff up. It was just too vivid of a story for him to make up that he had went somewhere else. And he said, I was clinically brain dead. So I wasn't dreaming. Because when you're, almost brain dead, you're not dreaming. So he said, I knew I wasn't dreaming. And he didn't want to come back. He did not want to come back. That's usually the way most are when they have that kind of experience. They don't want to come back. They're like, no, I want to stay over here. So, I believe that. I believe people do have that. Angie, we would have so much fun. I love all the guys. I know, I do too. I'm a gambler. I didn't know about someone who has passed, but maybe someone could be watching you when you see a nice bird in your area. You never know. It's me, Angie. I got you, Nan. I understood. My stereo goes in by itself. I always say that's my dad because he loved music. I agree, Lori. I do think things like that happen. My hubby keeps smelling a perfume that only our daughter used. Hypnotic poison. Well, it freaks him out. But I made him understand it's a way of Kara connecting with us. So now he's okay. Exactly. I can smell certain smells. Not all the time. It's not all the time. It's at different times. But see, I believe you have to be in tune with it and you have to believe it. I believe if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. You know, why should they come to you if you're not believing that it's them, But I honestly believe they do. After my brother-in-law passed away, I felt I found dimes all over my house. Every time I would look around, I would find a dime. And I would think, how did this dime end up behind this? Or who's got so many dimes? And it was because, and I said, oh my God, it's Billy. It's my brother-in-law leaving these dimes in my house because he loved dimes and collected dimes. And for months, I found dimes all over my house. And then all of a sudden, it just stopped. I didn't find dimes anymore. I love watching shows like that, near-death experiences, and after that, yes, I do. Now, I can tell, I don't know if Nana feels this way, some of them, I can tell that to me now, they're not as sincere as another person telling it. They're not, I might not believe their story like I would somebody else's. And I'm not saying some of these people don't make stuff up, but I feel like some of them don't. That they really have this experience. I don't know if y'all can hear that rain, but it is coming down out there. I have a female cardinal that hangs around outside my house. Ray has actually pet it. I have pics. I say that's my mom. I have a male cardinal, which I did a video, which I say that's my brother that comes and visits me. The female comes, I say that's my grandmother. And they don't come at the same time. And these squirrels that's coming up to my bird feeder, look, we had one eating the bird seed. I thought it was just one squirrel. Next thing you know, I'm watching it. Another one jumps up there with it. It about scares me to death. I'm thinking it's coming in the house. And I'm like, oh no, you cannot be bringing your buddies. We can't have 5 and 6 squirrels in the bird feed trying to feed. Y'all just gonna have to get over it. But yeah, I don't know how you get rid of squirrels in the bird feed. I don't know how you do that. Even the evil one had used or influenced a snake. Yes. I know there's definitely a spiritual realm, but I always weigh my experience and others through the lens of the Bible. Yes. True. When Ray and I are arguing, things fall off the shelves. I say that's my brother because that started before my parents passed, and my brother was always protective of me. Oh, Lori, that's funny. Yes, lots of people I know find dimes. I have seen so many signs, it's unreal. Hey, Susanna, how are you doing, honey bunny? Welcome in. We're talking about the afterlife and about people having experiences with dreaming about people that have passed on and it seems real, or maybe a bird showing up that maybe you think is a sign from someone that's passed on. We're just talking about the spiritual realm. Yes, I can tell some are not so sincere, more like they're really blowing the story up more than what it actually was. Yeah, I think we have that radar on the inside of us. Most people do. That has that red flag that says, nope, nope, that's not true. I don't believe that. No, no, I have my doubts. And then you have a feeling of, oh, that is very true. It's kind of like you are in agreement with them, that you can see that what they're saying is sincere. I'm watching the squirrels as long as they are not very close to the house. I like watching the squirrels. Oh, okay. Because have a way of getting into the attic. If you don't have it well well closed, I'll prove to keep them out. Yes, now there are some fakes out there. Yes. If the bird feeder is atop a pole, you can smear the pole with Vaseline. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. I would like to see that when they're trying to get up on that pole. Ray always says, okay, Billy, I'll stop. And it stops when he stops. Oh, now that is hilarious. We have so many squirrels and rabbits here. They eat all the bird feed. Susanna speaking to Nana. It's 6 cents. Also a feeling of beware. Yes. And I've always said this to everybody. Always listen to that red flag that goes up. No matter how good the person looks on the outside, I don't care how pretty they are, how nice they are, uh, what they sound like. If you walk up to somebody and you get this feeling of, oh no, you get that red flag feeling like warning, warning. Don't ever not listen to it. Always listen to that voice inside because that's going to lead you in the wrong direction. I mean, even the devil was a beautiful angel, so don't think that you can't be deceived by something beautiful that really isn't beautiful because we can. At least once a week, I have someone tickle my toes at night. And that's the reason I say angel tickle toes. Now that's funny. I bet that feels like, what? I have never heard of an angel tickling toes, Susanna. That has got to be something else when that happens. The cardinal always sits on the wires looking at my yard when the kids are here visiting. Oh, wow. Great video. Squirrel on Vaseline pole. I've got to watch that. I know YouTube probably's got some videos like that. That would be funny to watch if they slip and slide trying to get up the pole and can't. That would be funny. We had that squirrel come back and went crazy on our screen sun porch in Florida again. I haven't posted that video yet. We were talking about Friday when Matt and everybody, no, Saturday when everybody was here. We were talking about squirrels and how it was eating the food in the bird feeder. And they were like, and James always says, "Oh, all I see is a pint of gravy." Because, he's talking about eating the squirrel and eating rabbit and stuff. And I'm just like, no, that would be no. Now, I'm not going to say I'm never going to eat it because I may get really, really hungry and I've been without food. I don't know what my future holds. But as of right now, no, I'm not eating squirrel. It reminds me too much of a rat. And then everybody was like, it is a rodent. It is a rodent. It comes from the rat family. And I'm like, no wonder they freak me out because I cannot stand a rat. But I don't think I want a pint of gravy with a squirrel. No, no. Susanna, that's funny. It would drive me crazy. I hate for my feet to be touched. Oh, I love my feet to be touched. At first, it was really weird, but I guess over time, I'm just used to it now. That is so funny, Susanna. That would, oh my gosh. I would love to be a fly on the wall when that happened. When my mom was in the nursing home with Alzheimer's after my dad passed away, she started watching sports channels. She hated sports. I think my dad was with her then watching over her. Now that is possible. I like a foot massage, but not tickle at all. No way. Well, I never like my feet, somebody to tickle me, but now because I have neuropathy so bad, I don't really feel it. So you can rub on, try to tickle my foot all day long, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm not giving a reaction because I can feel the pressure, but I can't feel the actual sensation of the tickle. My mom used to yell for my dad and me in the nursing home. We never told her my dad passed the day he died. She stopped yelling for him. Oh, wow, Lori. That is crazy. But I believe that. I believe it. I know when people, they're about to pass, I've heard stories of people's loved ones actually seeing people that have gone on to the other side. And I know my cousin Lynn, she comes in here in the chat sometimes. Her mom was seeing her mom and dad, her siblings that passed. She had a brother that passed when he was 10 years old, and she saw him. And they would just go in the bedroom when her mother was in there in the bed. She was not long, she was going to pass. And she would just be carrying on conversation with them. And she would say, Mama, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? And she would say, oh, Mama's here, or called her little brother's name, said he had been there for hours. And they never would dispute it. They never would say, oh, no, they're not here, and go against anything she said. They would always just go along with it. Like, oh, really? Well, that's good. I'm glad they come to visit, and stuff like that. They never would try to upset her to tell her that they really were not there, which I would never do my loved one like that either. If they told me they saw somebody, I wouldn't try to convince them that they didn't see somebody. I would be like, oh, really? Well, that's nice. That's why I believe in the spiritual realm. Yes. My mom passed away 3 years after my dad passed. maybe, and could also, when he had died, he had triggered a memory that had just took her back. Hey, Victoria, Victoria, Victoria. There's our little crazy Victoria. I don't know what I'm gonna do with her or Ella. Those two are going off the rails quickly. It's one of the stages of death of seeing your loved ones that have passed on. I believe that. I believe that, Susanna. Victoria and Ella was on it this morning. Well, during the sale today, they were just silly and crazy as ever. I was what? They just make my day. Um, I don't try to. My mom insisted that her mom was coming to see her in the nursing home. But my grandmother died like 20 years before that. I think, and I'm gonna tell you this: when babies are born, I believe babies see things that we don't see because they've just come from heaven and they've been up there with all those wonderful angels and spiritual world, and then they get thrown into this world. And I think over time we get accustomed to this world and we leave that spiritual world behind and we just get further and further away from it. But I think newborn babies, and even when they get up to be 4, 5, 6 months old, they're still in tune more than we are, because we let the sounds and the everything that happens to us in this realm get in our way from spiritual things. I believe that. We never told her my dad passed away. Uh, like little babies, they'll be looking at something and smiling and laughing and cooing and it's just like they're watching something. They're watching, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they see their angel. They see their guardian angel. Their guardian angel's talking to them. Day to day, hello. Thank you. Yes, my brother Billy was a baby when my grandfather passed away, and he was 2 years old. He told us my grandfather came to see him and told him to be good. Yep, I believe that, and I also believe, you have a guardian angel that stays with you your entire life, and I just feel so sorry for mine. It never changes. You have the same guardian angel, and then you have a guide, another angel. You have a guardian angel that protects you, and then you have like a guide angel. Like you have two angels with you at all times. I believe that. Now I know that sounds kind of freaky, but I do believe that. Um, oh, our dog does that, looking at the wall and barking. Oh, I believe dogs can sense things too now. I believe that. But I don't put angels above my faith, what I believe in God. I don't put it above that. But I do believe there's angels, you know, really. I taught my guardian angel, I just like, bless your heart. Bless your heart for having to steer me from danger. Because I'm sure that without my guardian angel, I would have just not been, I would have been unalived right now if my guardian angel hadn't protected me many a times. Hey, Austin, how are you doing? Uh, yeah, come on in and join us. Psalms 91 says he gives his angels charge over us. So we do have angels. I honestly believe that we have guardian angels. I mean, that I can see times in my life, especially a teenager and in my early 20s, when I did things that I look back on now and go, oh my goodness, I should not even still be here. How did I live through that? I don't even think I should have lived through it. And it's by the grace of God and my guardian angel. I think my guardian angel was going up to God saying, please assign me to another person. This human being that you assigned me to has just went off the rails. She is losing it. Could you please give me another assignment? This one is crazy. And I can just see my guardian angel pleading, saying, please give me someone else. Saying, I know I have a guardian angel and bless whoever it is. And what a job they've had. Love you, Angie. Love you too, Nana. It's just been, yes, GJ, but she thought he was still alive. She didn't know he had passed away. Okay, Claudette. But it kind of just saddens me in a way that people that don't believe in the spiritual realm and they don't believe that there's more than just what we have here. And I don't judge them because they don't believe it, that there's some more. I just think it's sad that they don't believe it because to me, I know it's real. And I wish the person that says, oh, I don't believe in all that stuff, that's nothing, I wish that they could just experience the things that I've experienced. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in that. I believe everything happens for a reason. Um, and I just think that everybody should be connected to the spiritual realm of life. It brings so much peace and comfort to you. I don't see how people how they live without it. I don't see how they go through life without experiencing something other than just this. Because the life we live is so 3D. It's just so plain compared to the spiritual realm. Like on the paranormal shows, if you see something suddenly be thrown at you by something that you cannot see, that's something evil. A good one would not hurt you. I think also, and touching on another level, there's also bad, like he was talking about. It would have to be something bad. There are bad spirits that a lot of people don't believe that there are. They don't believe in any of that. They just think it's all just crazy for you to think that there are bad spirits out there, but there are. And just like they're bad people. A lot of times people are so naive they don't want to just believe that there are just mean people in the world. A lot of times people want to make excuses for other people doing things that they shouldn't do to other people. Some people are just mean. They just want to flat out hurt somebody or see them hurt. Oh yes, you can't have the good without the bad. Exactly. I also believe that the devil tries to trick us. I also believe God tests our faith in him. That's why sometimes it feels like he's not listening to us, but I feels like he's testing us. Good comment. I like that comment. The house with spirits are usually not so nice. Yes, there are bad too. Yes. Just keep your faith and things work out the way they are supposed to. Yes. I think, okay, let me just say this. I think this is just all a test for us down here that we are just like learning. It's like a school. It's like for us to go through life learning, 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 growing, learning, learning. And then by the time we reach up there, we've been to school, you know, and we've learned what we were supposed to learn down here because we're just traveling. In my faith, I believe we're just traveling through, you know, and that this, of course, this isn't my home because I'm not going to always be here. I mean, nobody that I know of is going to live forever. We all have the same destiny, and that's not to be here. And while we're here, we have to enjoy what we have and learn what we can. And it's all about loving and caring for each other and not about destroying each other. I mean, that's in my mind. That's what I think. I wouldn't say God's testing us as much as he's trying to teach us to just have faith. He is there and will always carry us. Yes. I think that we're here to love and to teach others how to love because ultimately I think that's all there is. And we can't even do that. And and I put we in there because we've all fallen short of that. You know, been ugly to someone, didn't like someone for the way they looked, the way they dressed, the way they acted, their voice, their the way they cut their hair, their attitude. There's been something that we just did not like about someone, you know. But there's a difference between like and love. I want to go to heaven, don't get me wrong, however. I don't like the idea that we're not going to know each other like we know each other here. I want to know Todd as my husband or my mom or my kids. I think that we're going to know each other, but it's like you said, because I'm not going to know James as my husband because in that spiritual realm, there's no husband, wife, kids, mom, dad. But I also think that once you pass that realm of here to there, you're not even going to remember that. You're not even going to remember that relationship as being husband, wife, kid, mom. It's just going to be, you automatically just love that person. You know what I'm saying? You're going to know them, but you're not, that's going to leave you. That part of who you are is going to no longer be a part of who you are. That your spirit person inside you is not going to know marriage and having a baby and all that. All that's going to be obsolete. I don't even think you're going to remember it. So you're not going to be sad about it. You're not going to be sad about it because you're not going to, I don't think you're going to remember it. It's not, because when you step out of one realm into the other realm, I think all that's going to dissipate. Just like I think when you step over into the spiritual realm, all these grudges that people have and they hadn't spoken to this person in I don't know how many years and you know all that, as soon as they step over into the spiritual realm, I don't even think that is even going to matter. You know, I think they're going to not even, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to matter. But I understand where you're coming from, Victoria, because we love our family so much here that we don't want to be without them, and we're not going to be if they have the same faith that we do and believe the way we do. Um, as far as Christianity, our beliefs, I believe that we should cherish our family here now and get the most out of it here because we won't have it over there. I think we should just cherish it so much. Exactly. Love each other as he has loved us. And sadly, the world is so far from that. I know, Nana. We are all brothers and sisters, no matter what. That's why I love everyone. I may not like what some people do, but I still love them. True. We won't have the differences. We'll just know love. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. It won't it be anything but just pure love. Because there's nothing else over there but that. I believe that's too. I believe that too. That's why it makes me sad now. Yeah, but if you put everything you know you have into what you have that God has given you, and you cherish it and you love it and you embrace it and don't take it for granted and don't throw it aside, then I think you'll be fulfilled in what you learned here before you go there. Please open the crate. Hey, Mr. Doggity Dog. No, no, Victoria. We will know our loved ones. They'll be waiting on us. No, she's talking about the relationship. Like, she's talking about her, like, Todd will not be her husband in heaven. And she won't remember him as her husband. But she'll love Todd. But see, there's no reason for her to remember him as her husband in heaven because those relationships aren't there. Those relationships are here. All those relationships are upgraded to the earth. All the misery and sorrow will be gone. I can't wait. I know. Hopefully, it's not that way. Okay, let's just say this. I'm not sure how it is. I've never been over there. But I think if you had a child, my children, I think over there, love's going to be love and it's going to be deep. And you're going to remember that you love that person deeply. You may not view them as your child on that side, but you're going to know that you love that person deeply. Victoria, I posted the short of Todd on the roof. Did you see it? Oh, I gotta see that. Yes, 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 yes. She will. Yes. In the Bible it says you'll be known as you're known. Oh, we will be known as we're known. I think that's in Corinthians. I think it's actually the 13th chapter with the love chapter, or right before it. It says we look through a glass dimly now. We can't see clearly, but then when we go over to the other side, everything's clear. But honestly, until we get over there, nobody knows. I mean, we have these people. Yes. You know how they say when someone's passing over, and then they had these outer, and they get to come back. They say they were met by their loved ones, the ones that had passed on. So yes, people that were in your life, I believe when you pass are going to come get you and come and carry, walk you over. Your description makes me feel better, Angie, as long as I know then and that I held a deep love for them, make me feel much better. Oh, that makes me feel better too, Christina. Yes, I don't think God and him being God is love, how he could take that away from us after he gave it to us, knowing that we were experiencing what he wanted us to experience in this world was love. And then when we get up there, he don't want us to have that. I don't think that would even be a reasonable thought. That he would not want us to remember the ones that we traveled on this journey with. I just believe that he wants us to remember them. That is great, chat. But I have to go eat now. Have a great night. Bye, Lori. But like I said, until we actually go there, we're not going to know. But I watch all those near death experience videos, and the way that they talk, it is something that you cannot even imagine. And it's so good over there that they don't even want to come back here. No matter how good their life was here, they don't even want to return. Most of them want to stay over there and say, please don't send me back. Please don't send me back. So if it's that good, it has to be peace, love, joy to the ultimate. It has to be like thousands% that. No pain, no sorrow. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in that? The word says that we will have his holy angels to come gather his elect ones to meet him in the air at the time of his second coming. I always joke and say, how these ladies supposedly went up into space. I always say that's something that I do not have a desire to do. Now, James Smith would do it in a minute. My James would go up in a rocket ship or whatever you call it in a heartbeat. I would not. I always say the only time I'm going to travel like that is when the Lord comes and raptures me. Then I will travel like that. But until then, I'm not leaving this earth. You're not getting me on a spaceship to travel to another planet ever, unless this one is being destroyed. But I think I'll wait on God to come rapture me. I think we know our loved ones, but I believe the love will be different because we will be different. We will all be changed. Yeah, we can't comprehend the love that's over there. The love that we feel toward each other, this fleshly love, like this ooey gooey you get for your husband and all that. That is not even the kind of love that they're talking about. We cannot even comprehend God's love, really. It's something that we have not fully experienced, I don't think. I know two people that died and came back, and they don't know each other. And we asked them what they felt. They both answered no fear. They also both wanted to stay. And how many changed their relationships and outlook on living such a better, loving, giving life after they had the near death experience? Oh, yeah. Most of them that I watched changed, like did a 180 or a 360 or whatever it is. They, but it's sad that it took that for them to change. You know, uh, my uncle, my cousin Bo, that had the aneurysm. I don't know if y'all remember him. His dad had an experience like that. And his dad professed to be an atheist for years. And I remember it. He was so intelligent. He listened to classical music. He read everything he could get his hands on. He read encyclopedias. He had a photographic memory where he could remember everything, but he just didn't believe in the afterlife. Well, for years, his wife, my aunt, prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for him. And he had an experience. And he came to, and he told his family, we're selling everything. We're selling everything that we own. My cousin was in the 9th grade. He said, I looked at my dad and I said, wait a minute, I didn't have the experience. I didn't agree to sell everything I own. I want to keep my stuff, like jokingly. But, I mean, they didn't sell everything. They just sold everything but necessities. And they opened this home called Love in Action. And they fed the homeless, and they took in people that were homeless into their home. And they became this real big, huge thing in Jones County. It was called Love in Action. And they built my aunt this big, huge house that would house like 20 people. She had a cabin on her property where she could house people. He just did this. He just turned his whole life around. And my cousin Bo said, oh man, Dad, I wish I would have had the experience. That had to be awesome. And he said, no, son, I'm jealous of you. And he said, jealous of me? He said, yeah, because you believed and you didn't have to have the experience. And in order for me to believe, I had to experience that. And I envy you because you believed it and you did not have the experience. And chills just came over me like, oh my gosh. And so he was really envious of my cousin Bo because he was a believer and he didn't have to see that in order to believe. But my uncle had to experience what he did in order to be a believer. Hey, Purple. Welcome in. Hey, Carol. How are you? All right, Victoria. Love you. Ella, Ella, Ella. Ella, Ella, Ella. Let me just do this. What Nana gave me. Nana made me a beautiful, beautiful super chat. This is for you, Ella. Super chat. Nana Tink made that for me. I love it, love it, love it. Wait, what did Purple put? My mom had a death experience when she could talk again. She said she had seen some of her family that passed. Awesome. Wow, Angie, what a story, but so understandable. So I can tell you that people, when they have that kind of experience, most of them do a roundabout, go way opposite of what they were. Hey, Vaughn, how are you? Welcome in. Welcome in. Jesus said that to Thomas, because you have seen, you believe. Blessed are those who have not seen yet believe. Exactly. That's kind of like my uncle was telling my cousin. He said, I envy you. You believed and you haven't even seen. And it took me having that experience to believe. Nana, you are real good at this. You should make it. I know she is good. Hey, Chris, how are you? Welcome in. I hadn't seen you in a while. Welcome to my chat. Everybody speaking. I am so glad y'all are here. I am so glad we are. Hey, Susie Woozy Woozy girl. How are you doing? We are just talking about the afterlife and spiritual things and angels. I can't I can't remember a time in my life that I didn't believe. I know there had to have been a time before I experienced, as far as Christianity, what you're supposed to experience. But I think I've just always believed. I mean, as a young teenager, and honestly, as a little child, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, we only went to church with my grandmother. I don't remember my mom ever going. And we went to this little small church that I was raised in. And it was a Baptist church. But when I turned 13, 14, 15, 16, I had a totally different experience because we went to a different church. It was more of a contemporary, full gospel church. It wasn't like your standard Baptist. And I'm not putting any church down, any religion, none. I'm just telling you my experience. And that opened my eyes more to the spiritual realm, going to that, being in that environment. I'll just say that. I've seen where people can take one part of another soul or spirit, and if they receive part of that person from an organization, wait, hold up. I've seen where people can take on part of another soul or spirit if they receive part of that person from an organ donation. I live that with my hubby. Now, I think that would be I believe what you're saying is true. I think that would be quite interesting, a story to tell, because I would love to hear that story about the difference. You know, yes, we're all connected, Nana. We're all connected. And that's why when we are at odds with each other, you know, it's so bad because we're really all connected. And when we have turmoil amongst one another and envy and strife and you know, we get mad and we don't like each other and all that turmoil, it just messes everything. It just messes the whole system up, you know. And don't get me wrong, I know some people are hard to love. I do. I get that. I understand that. I do. But you have to meet people where they are. And I always say love is a choice. You either choose to love someone or you don't. But people want to say, oh, no, it's not, because they like that ooey gooey feeling. They want to say, if I don't get that feeling, I don't really love somebody. Love is not a feeling. Love is a choice when it comes to mankind. Now, is it a feeling when you fall in love with your mate? Yes. Is it a feeling when you lust after another person? Yes. It's a feeling. But love is really a choice. You can choose to love a person or not. I'll always believe that. Years ago, I did not believe that. But I have come to believe that you choose to love somebody or you don't. Now, liking someone And you say, well, how can you love somebody and not like them? Well, you can love them from a distance. And the way their personality is, you probably can't stay away. You can't stay around them if you clash with them. But that doesn't mean you don't love them enough to want the best for them in their life. I mean, there's some family members right now that I have to stay away from. It's not that I don't love them. It's just I can't be around them. I have to love them from a distance because they bring so much drama and turmoil and all that into my realm that I just don't want to have to deal with it. I know that might sound bad. I would love to hear that story. I will go live and talk about our life. Yes, that would be wonderful, Nana. I would love to hear that. I watch videos that are more than just one religion. I see something about them all today. See, the thing with me and religion, you can religiously watch TV, you can religiously eat, you can religiously smoke, you can religiously gamble. To me, it's about spirituality. It's not about religion. I'm not putting any religion down. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. And I was brought up in the church, and my children were raised in the church. And I do not regret that because they have a good foundation. I have a good foundation. But as far as what I don't have religion. I have spirituality. It's a spiritual realm. It's not a religious. Religion was man-made. Man-made religion. God didn't. God is spiritual. Now, this is just my own thoughts. You may think totally different, and I'm fine with that. I remember going to church by myself at the age of 6. I'd walk 2 miles to the church when my parents woke, and I was gone. They knew where I was. Oh, Purple, that just warms my heart. Too close for comfort. Yes, too close for comfort. No, I understand where you're coming from. It's me, Angie. It's not bad. Healthy boundaries keep you sane. Exactly. Hey, Miss Meow Meow. Watching from Scotland. Welcome in. Agree so much. I've been saying that for years. Religion is man made. And what's to me, and I'm just going to throw this out there since we're talking about it. Religion has failed so many people. It has failed them because you can go to churches, and I have been to churches, and I have been to the church that I grew up in, that certain people were shunned, were not accepted. And it broke my heart because when people would come into the church, I would greet them and I would welcome them and I would want them to be there. And then you would have other people that were members of the church that would just treat them like they had leprosy. And it would be like, whoa, this is the house of the Lord, which the people make up the church, not the building. And you're going to treat another human being like that? It would always upset me so bad. But you have those people in churches that think they're up here and other people are here. You're just going to have them. It's just the way it is. I don't think we choose to love someone. I believe we love them or we don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think the love I'm talking about is love for mankind. Choose to love people where they are. I don't mean love them to the point where you want them to come live with you or you want to take care of them or you want them to take care of you. I mean, I'm talking about it's a different kind of love. Like God's love. Man's love, I think it's called philo. In the Bible, they call it philo, I think. It's what we feel here on earth. Um, I'm good, Miss Meow Meow. Hey, SRJ Wildcat, how are you? Welcome in. You did. You finally made it. Thank you. I'm glad you showed up. God's love is agape love. That's God love. That's the love I'm talking about. You should have for everybody. I don't mean. I think it's called philo. Philo. I think it is. It's the love we have here. I agree with you on religion being man-made. Being good and spiritual is. It's okay, Angie. We're allowed our own opinions. Yeah. Yeah. We're okay, Claudette. We can agree to disagree. I still love you with all my heart. You know that. I was saying it's different than our connection to something bigger than us. Yeah. I thought you meant people. Oh, okay. Yeah. Philo, which is human love. Agape is God's love. Ours is conditional. His is not. Yes. I thought it was called philo. Yes. Um, Philo is what we have to say. It's sort of like that saying I have, um, love someone greater than your need for them. Let your love for that person out uh be greater than your need. If you only need someone and you're saying that you love them, you don't really love them. You need them because once the need for that person is gone, you don't want them anymore. So you haven't really experienced love for that person because really you needed them. You didn't love them. Your need for them was greater than your love for them. Let your love be greater than your need. Hey, Josie, there's my friend. Welcome in. I am so glad you're here. Philo means liking of a certain thing. Yeah, because that's how our love is. We pick and choose of what we like and what we don't like and who we want to love and who we don't want to love. But when you are on the spiritual realm and you are want to be more like Christ or God, you choose to love everyone and accept them. You may not like them, but you accept that God created them and God loves them as much as he loves you because he doesn't create junk. I mean, God doesn't create anything that's not perfect. It says every good and perfect gift comes from above. So everything he creates is perfect, though it may not look perfect to us. Say you have a child that has a disability, and people look at that child with a disability as something being wrong. But in God's eyes, there's nothing wrong with that child. In God's eyes, that child is perfect because that's the way he made that child. See, but we can't see that. I think spirituality is different than organized religion. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Susie. Absolutely. Oh, you don't worry about being late. I think you're right on time. Philo and Eroso are human. Philo is friendly love. Yeah, you have a friendly, like, friendship, which is what we have with each other. And then you have the one where you fall in love with your mate or whoever you think you fall in love with, or what, that that chemistry kind of love, the where you say, oh my gosh, I can't live without them. I just feel this thing for them. you know. And then I do believe you do find your soulmate. I do believe you, in the Bible it says, don't be unevenly yoked, you know. Um, it's so hard when people marry and they're unevenly yoked. Have you ever seen a yoke on oxen? If you put the yoke on oxen, they move at a fine beat if it's right. But if that oxen is unevenly yoked with something else, it is not going to plow that very good. It's going to mess up the whole thing. A feeling, passion, or love of something. Yes. Oh, right. Good for you. We planted our garden, Susie. I got up some videos of us putting our garden. You go ahead with the strawberries, girl. I have both for my better half. Yes. Yes. You can have a friendship, romantic relationship. Yes, you can have both. Thank you, Susie. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance, face, or facial expression, or on the height of his statue, physique, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not a man as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh at the heart. Right. Okay, Susie, you too. Strawberries are fun, Susie. I have 2 plants and they are growing really well with this rain. You'll do great, Susie. I can't wait to see your strawberries, Christina. Those will be good. I was raised Catholic and haven't picked up a Bible in years. I have many beliefs in faith. They're my own. Well, in the Bible it says work out your own salvation. Okay? Say there was somebody stranded on an island that didn't have access to a Bible. Let's just say that. And God said there's not going to be anybody in the world that's not going to be able to find him. Well, how's that person going to find him if they've never had a Bible to be exposed? He's going to have to speak to that person, right? So, it says work out your own salvation. We have 89 blueberry plants and 26 new strawberries. Also, we have blueberries and muscadines, Susie. That's what we have. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, caring, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. Exactly. For what? Yes. So I didn't mean to get off on all this religious stuff. And these are just my own personal beliefs. You do not have to believe this. You believe in this, it's not going to have a reflection on anything of how I feel about you, or even if you care. I mean, you might not even care. But I mean, you have a right to believe what you believe. I have a right to believe what I want to believe. And then there's the truth somewhere in the middle. We're none of us are going to know the truth ever. It's called faith. And people say, well, how can you just live just by not knowing? Well, it's a relationship with the person that's trying to get you to believe in them. I love this chat. It's a great one. It is, and I love it. It's hard to have a spiritual conversation on YouTube. And I'm so thankful we have a good chat in here that's not blowing up over it. That they are just saying, okay, well, this is my thoughts. This is the way I feel. Because you can go into some chats and they're just losing it because you're talking about spirituality and religion and things like that. I can have a talk about it. It does not bother me that you do not have the same beliefs that I do. It does not bother me. I'm open to listen to what you want to say about your belief, but I want you to be open about me talking about my belief, you know, and both of us being adult enough to say, just like Claudette said, Angie, we don't have to agree on everything. I know that. I love her. I know we can disagree. I know we can. And she knows it. And she knows I'm not going to think any more about it. She has her thoughts. I have mine. That doesn't mean that you can't love somebody because they have different beliefs than you do. You can. Working out your own salvation is just that. If you have no Bible, the Lord can give revelation. But as a Christian, you're responsible for knowing His Word. Yes. Some believe only what they may see, but they know not what they do. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence not seen. Exactly. But here's the thing that it took me a long time to grasp this thought. Okay? It took me a while to get here, what I'm about to tell you. You are not responsible to try to get somebody to believe what you believe. It's not your responsibility. The only responsibility you have to anybody is to love them. That's the only thing He asks us to do, is to love Him with all of our heart and to love our neighbor as ourselves. That's it. He will convict them. He will show them the way, but they have to be willing. We have a will. Every one of us has a will, and He's not going to go against our will. He gave us a will, and we can choose or not choose. That's what He gave us. That's our worst downfall that we could have, is that we get to choose. Because a lot of us are stubborn and say, oh, I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. And I was one of those people too. And in certain areas, I'm still that way. That's why I say your only responsibility is to your fellow man is to love them. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to get in an argument with them about stuff that political views, religion, anything like. You don't have to argue over that. You can have a really good discussion and walk away going, you know what? That person doesn't believe like I do, but I still love them. I still love them so much. But a lot of people can't do that. I don't know why. To me, it seems so very simple, but a lot of people can't seem to do it. I don't know why. Agree. I can disagree and be civil and not scream and be loud. I always say when I'm in an argument with somebody that tries to get louder than what we're talking, and I always say, just because you're getting louder doesn't mean you're more right. The louder you get does not make you more right. And in most arguments, there's not a wrong or right. It's just one party trying to get the other party to agree with them. That's all it is. That it's just trying to get one person to agree with the other person, and the other person won't agree with them, so therefore they argue. When they should say, you believe, you have your beliefs, and I'm going to have mine, and I'll just pray for you, and you pray for me. And I always say this, if God wants me to see it your way, He will convict me of that. And then I will come back to you and say, oh, I'm so sorry, you were right. Because I can come back to somebody and say, oh, I saw it all wrong. You were right. A lot of people can't do that. I can do that. If I have a chat with you, let's just say about spirituality, and we don't agree on the same thing, and then 2 months down the road, I get convicted about it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, they were right. What they said was right. I can come back to you and say, you know what you and I discussed a couple of months ago, and we wasn't on the same page? I want to apologize because you were right. I see what you were talking about. See, I can come back and do that. A lot of people can't. Husband was grumpy. That's funny. Oh, no man, anything but to love him. I will tell you what I believe if you ask, but I will not force my belief. No, I'm not going to force my belief. No. It's not our place to force our beliefs on anybody. It's not our place. It's not. We're supposed to spread the word, then it's up to that part. Yeah, yeah, definitely spread the word. Tell the good news, share your experience, share whatever. But then the conviction comes from above. It's not for you to try to force that person to believe the way you do. No, what does that do? If you try to scare somebody or make them feel like they can't be a part of your life if they don't believe the way you do, it's not sincere. I mean, they can't. To be honest with you, I don't want that responsibility. I would just, he made it so simple for us to just love one another. I mean, I can do that. That to me is simple. Now, some people, it doesn't come so easy for them to love others, and it didn't used to come easy for me either, but it's gotten easier for me to do when I just decided that's my responsibility. And responsibility is your ability to respond to your circumstances. That's what responsibility means. It doesn't mean go over there and take care of other people's business and tend to their business. Oh, it's my responsibility to go over here and handle this argument. No, responsibility means your ability to handle your circumstances, what you got going on in your life, not what this person has going on over here. Now, your responsibility to that is to pray for them. That's your responsibility. And to love them and do not get in between it. Do not choose sides. Exactly. Love that. Just because you are getting louder don't mean you're right. Yeah, and I always say there's some people that just want to be right fighters. They just want to be right, no matter who they hurt, no matter what relationship they destroy, no matter how loud, how mean, how disrespectful they are to you. It doesn't matter to them. They just want to be right. And they're called right fighters. And when you are dealing with a right fighter, they have destroyed so many relationships because they're not thinking about, okay, maybe I can compromise. Maybe I don't have to be right. Maybe we can come up with a better solution. They would rather destroy a relationship and be right than to compromise. And I don't really like to be around right fighters because right fighters, they're harsh. Yes, they are. I have done that. Apologize for being wrong or upset for stupid reasons. If I were perfect, I wouldn't be on this earth. There is no perfect. Amen, Nana. These days, there's just a few subjects that are taboo, and sex, politics, and religion are some of the main ones. Yes, agreed. You have a good heart, Nana. Many people double down And when they're wrong, when everyone is when everyone is wrong sometimes, yes. I always try to be kind, and I know it's the right thing to do. If I'm wrong, I own it. Yes, Nana. And see, I know that about Nana, and you can just tell, like when she comes on her channel, the way she is. You can tell when Josie comes on her channel, Christina. I mean, you know these people are on the same wavelength that you are, and they are sincere. They're human. We're all human. We have that side of us that we get irritable, we get sassy, we get nosy, we get um, we just do things that are not nice sometimes, and it's just our nature, and we get that from Adam and Eve, of course, and what they call human nature. But prayer and seeking spiritual things get you further and further away from that, you know. But it was work. It's not something that just automatically happens. You have to work at it. And don't get down on yourself when you get like that, because a lot of things can cause you to be ill. Like when I get in a lot of pain, I answer real short. Like when James asked me a question, if I'm hurting real bad, in my mind, I'm thinking, why is he asking me so many questions? Why does he want to talk so much right now? He knows I'm hurting. I mean, what is wrong with him? But he doesn't know I'm hurting unless I tell him I'm hurting. He doesn't know. And that's a lot of the problem is communication. We don't communicate with each other to let each other know how we feel or what's going on. We can't read each other's mind. If we could, I don't even know if I'd want to. There are some minds that I do not want to read. I don't think I'd want to read anybody's mind. Really, I don't want that. No, I don't want to know what goes on in somebody else's head, because I know what goes on in mine, and I don't want anybody reading my mind. I can take real a real person, whether if they're just like a grouchy older person that just you can't please them, and they're all the time ill and they're never happy. I can take that and accept it rather than accept somebody that's phony. I don't want phony. I'd rather you be that ill, sour, uh, where you can't please them. I'd rather you be like that than to try to pretend you were something you were not. I don't want a pretender. I don't want somebody that's phony. To me, that's just lying. If you're phony, you're lying because you're saying you're one way and you're really something else. And I don't want that. Just be you. And that's why I try to say in some of my videos, if you would just be who you are, people would love you, because everybody deals with some awkward thing. They deal with mostly the same thing as the next person. You know, uh, don't think you're the only one that is dealing with what you're dealing with, because there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that is happening has already happened. There's nothing new. It says that in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. Have a good night, Purple. Love you. Amen. I got here just in time to hear what I think I needed to hear. Hey, Rita. How are you? Welcome in. Yes, Josie. And that's what I respect and really appreciate about Josie. She just calls it the way she sees it. She is who she is. She does not try to put on airs or try to pretend she's somebody she's not. I don't want to pretend I'm somebody I'm not. It's hard enough being me, much less trying to be somebody I'm not. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I'm pulling out my hair trying to upload a video on my YouTube channel. My channel on my phone, I think I got done. Awesome. All right, guys. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I usually don't stay on over 2 hours. I usually like to limit it, but this has been a wonderful chat today. I've enjoyed it. Thank you all for staying calm, cool, and collected, and nobody getting upset in the chat about us discussing spiritual things and angels and people passing and coming back from dying. And I really appreciate every one of you, and I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye, neighbor.